Hello and welcome to the Random Access Show. In today's episode, we'll of course be talking about everything that Apple released at their Far Out event in Apple Park, Cupertino. I'm super excited to get into this, so strap in, this is going to be a good one. I'm Lampanopoulos and you're tuned into the Random Access Show. Hello and thanks for joining me today on the Random Access Show. And as I mentioned, of course, we will be talking about everything that Apple released at their Far Out event just a few days ago from Apple Park in Cupertino, California. It was really boring to watch the event, but I can tell you that some of the features that they've included in their latest products are just absolutely stunning. So I'm really excited to get into this, but before I do, I'd just like to say this weekend you are going to see at least two episodes released to make up for all those episodes that I have not released, so I am very sorry for that. It has been hard though. But let's get straight into it. So the first product that Apple released at their Far Out event, which if you didn't watch, you don't really need to, you just need to listen to this podcast, this episode. It's a summary of what they released. But what they did release, the first thing that they released was the Apple Watch Series 8. And this is the latest installment in the Apple Watch product line. And they've introduced a few more health features and a few more safety features. A few of them are a bit weird. A few of them are quite helpful though. So the first one that they released was their ovulation detection feature, which uses a bunch of new temperature sensors and is aimed at women's health. But a few more safety things though. For example, they released a car crash detection feature. So if you are in a severe car crash, the Apple Watch Series 8 will detect that feature, will use that feature, to detect it, and will, if you don't respond to the message on your Apple Watch, then it will alert emergency services immediately of your location, of your whereabouts, and basically give them a little bit of information, and they will come to you. Now, this can be a useful feature, though in some cases, there are some people, especially older people, who have a few more car accidents than some others, and they're not always severe ones. So it's just something that Apple needs to make sure that it's 100% accurate, or at least 99% accurate, before they actually release it. And which I'm hoping they've done, because it can be a pretty annoying feature as well. But they will also alert your emergency contacts of your whereabouts and what's happened, and that you've been in a car crash. Now, it is a severe car crash detection feature, so if you're just in a minor car crash, it shouldn't activate the feature, and if it does, it's easier for you to just turn it off. Another feature that they've added, they're just better overall general health detection features, better heart rate detection, better pulse detection, all that sort of stuff, improved thanks to new sensors, new technology. They've added international roaming capabilities though to your Apple Watch, as long as it is connected to your phone and your phone is using international roaming, which means you can go all around the world, and if your Apple Watch has cellular, then you can simply connect it to your telephone roaming plan and use your Apple Watch internationally, which is a really cool feature. It does have an always on display, which is pretty cool, though it is also a battery waster, which they do talk about a little bit later in the event. And they talk about the battery life, which is an 18-hour battery life. But they've introduced low power mode, which brings it down to up to 30 hours battery life. It gets rid of some features like always on display. And it just allows a usable Apple Watch though with lack of some features like low power mode on your iPhone or power saving mode on your Android phone. It is swim-proof, dust-proof, and crack-resistant according to them. You don't know how accurate that is, of course, but it you should be able to go for a swim with it and not worry about it too much. And good feature for those who do like to swim. Of course, crack resistance, not crack proof, crack resistance, which is kind of just saving themselves, in case someone cracks it and, the crack proof doesn't work out. But it should be, usable in tough conditions. But if not, you have the Apple Watch Ultra, which is the second product that they released. It's made for the adventurous. It's made for people who like going outside a lot, and unlike some of the people I know, for example, the friend Min that I had on the show a few times ago, he is not someone who should be spending that money on the Apple Watch Ultra. Not the adventurous, not the most adventurous person, not the most outside going person, but it has 36 hours battery life with up to 60 hours. Wayfinder tracking feature, which is a feature which has a built-in compass. It can tell you exactly where you are and exactly where to go, which can be really helpful in things like orienteering or other sports, or if you're just lost, you're going hiking and all of a sudden you don't know where you are. Turn on that Wayfinder tracking feature and it will tell you where you are and where to go. It has improved custom GPS algorithms and the most accurate GPS in any sport watch. Apple can claim that, and I would have thought that Fitbit would have a title that similar to that they could claim, but apparently not. Apparently it is Apple that now has the most accurate GPS in any sport watch. And finally, it has the action button, which is a customizable button. You can program it to do a lot of different features, but it is a big orange button on the side of your watch, which basically you can program it to do anything you want, which I would have loved to seen on the Apple Watch Series 8, maybe in a Pro model or something similar. But no, they've decided to put it in the Apple Watch Ultra, charge you more money for it, which is typical Apple. But you gotta love them for it. It isn't orange though. It's a bit tacky, but for those who will use it, it's great. You can customize it again to do whatever you like. Turn on a fitness tracker, all that sort of stuff. So really useful. Really annoyed that it's not in the Apple Watch Series 8 though. So next up, AirPods Pro 2. So this is AirPods is has been a really successful line for Apple. I know heaps of people that have AirPods. AirPods have also started and inspired other companies to create their own similar Bluetooth headphones, wireless headphones. And I know a lot of people that have AirPods, and AirPods Pro 2 just is more for the audiophile, instead of someone who just, likes to listen to music every now and then. It has the H2 chip, a new chip, with high bandwidth connectivity. And custom audio drivers with a wider range of sound frequencies, to paraphrase the Apple presenter. It has spatial audio, so personalized spatial audio this time, which basically you can use the True Depth camera on a compatible iPhone to create a profile of your ear, which I think is actually a really cool feature, because Apple using spatial audio, it's not going to fit to every single person's ear, and to have that thing where it's fit to your ear, it's like having a personalized ear tip, which I find really, really smart and really cool. You do have to have an iPhone with a true depth cameras though, so just watch out if that's you or not. It has active noise cancellation with utilizing computational audio and placing of acoustic vents, providing double the noise cancellation from previous AirPods, which is absolutely amazing, because we know that AirPods have had a reputation for awesome noise cancellation, and this providing double noise cancellation, that's even better, though it can be scary that you can cancel out that much noise from the outside world, and it can also be dangerous as well. If someone is screaming and you can't hear because you're listening to too much Bon Jovi, then that can be a bad thing as well. So, transparency mode, which is similar to noise cancellation, but adaptive transparency reduces the volume of outside noise. So it's not really noise cancellation; it's just noise reduction, which is probably better. It is probably better. You still get to hear the outside world, just not as much. And when I'm listening to music, I do like to hear the outside world and what's going on around me, as well as the music, because it kind of gives me a sense of reality, instead of just having things in my ear and blocking out all sense of reality. Though sometimes that is a good thing as well. 6 hours of listening time per charge, which is 33% greater than the original, which is pretty cool. 6 hours of listening time. I mean, for Bluetooth headphones, that's pretty good. But you know me, I'm not into Bluetooth headphones. I'm not into wireless headphones. Right now, I'm using my wireless headphones, my wired headphones to record this. I don't really like wireless headphones, but for someone who does, 6 hours of listening time is plenty. That's one of the inconveniences about having wireless headphones or Bluetooth headphones, that you do have to charge it. So having 6 hours of listening time before charging it again is a great advantage. And the Find My app now lets you find your AirPods Pro 2 in a more helpful way. When you misplace the charging case, precision finding gets you to it with tones that play. So the charging case now has speakers which play tones to help you find it. So you can activate that through the Find My app, provided that you have configured the Find My app with your AirPods Pro 2. Now let's get to the part that everybody wants to hear about. That's the iPhone 14. Something that everyone's been waiting for, and we finally got it. And with an iPhone 14 Plus. iPhone 14 Plus as well. It's... I don't know why you would want the plus size. My iPhone 8 is small and I like it. If it's my hand. My mother has an iPhone 11. She complains that she can't fit it into places. Just should be a bit smaller. And plus size is 6.7 inches, which is, pretty big compared to the iPhone 11, which is around 6.1 inches, which is what the iPhone 14 is. Improved thermal performance, which is always good to hear. In new technology, it's always going to get hotter, and you want it to, as performance increases, you also want thermals to increase, and cooling methods to increase as well and become better. It has a Super Retina XDR display, which is an OLED-based display with 1200 nits peak HDR brightness. 1200 nits. I always complain about why my iPhone 8 or even my laptop, the brightness just doesn't go high enough. 1200 nits should be enough for peak brightness. It's got 2 million to 1 contrast ratio and supports Dolby Vision, which is pretty cool. If I do say so myself. It comes in midnight, starlight, blue, purple, and product red. All great colors. Though there's no black and there's no white. What? No, just true black and no white. So that's something for them to consider. It has the same processor as the iPhone 13 Pro. I don't like that. I think that with every new generation, the phone should have a new processor, and the fact that it has the same one from the 13 Pro with 5-core GPU, 6-core CPU, 2 high performance and 4 efficiency cores, it's not what you want to see. You want the 14 and the 14 Pro to have their own processor, the 13 and the 13 Pro to have their own processor, the 12 and the 12 Pro to have their own processor, etc., etc. But what we're seeing is that the 13 Pro has its own processor, the same as the 14. The 14 Pro has a different processor, which is the A16 Bionic, and I'm assuming if it keeps going the way it is, the iPhone 15 will have the same processor as the 14, which is the A16. And if that's true, then I think Apple should scrap that. They are charging people more for the Pro version, which in every new generation there should be not just incremental changes, there should be large changes across the board. Not just if you buy the Pro version, then you get these changes. That is not what we want to see from Apple. If you agree with me, please, say something about that. Because, we are getting basically the same thing that we're getting from the iPhone 13 Pro. Improved camera, whatever. But the core processor is the same thing. And that is something I do not want to see again. But if we keep going, 12 megapixel main camera, 49% improvement in low light capture. It's got a true depth camera, which is 12 megapixels for the front camera. 38% improvement in low light capture. It's got 5G and it's got eSIM compatibility. Now, in fact, all United States models have scrapped the SIM tray. eSIM only, which is, in my opinion, stupid. People still have and use physical SIM cards, and just because you're trying to push this new technology doesn't mean people are going to like it, doesn't mean people are going to agree with it, doesn't mean people are going to use it. And so yeah, I think that they should rethink that, and maybe this is just their trial. They're thinking, all right, if we push this out, we'll see how it goes. We might add the SIM tray back in the next one. The way Apple goes, it's the same thing that they've done with the headphone jack. They've scrapped it completely. I don't think they're going to bring it back again. It has the same crash detection features that the Apple Watch has. And it has emergency SOS via satellite, which is a new feature that Huawei has also introduced in their Mate 50 and Mate 50 Pro. But it is a feature which basically allows you, only in the US and Canada, if you are in a rural area and you do not have access to cellular towers, no mobile reception, the iPhone will tell you where to point your phone to receive signal from the nearest satellite communication, satellite. And it will send a text based on your responses to certain questions to the nearest emergency services, which is a cool feature, though it is a pretty slow feature as well. It is only to be used in rural areas. There is no point in using it anywhere else. It's just stupid. And all this is available. The iPhone 14 is available for pre-order on September 9th, which was yesterday in Australia. And it is available on the 16th of September, while the Plus model is available on the 7th of October. if we talk about the iPhone 14 Pro, this is where we get a lot of the cool new features. My favorite of which, though, is the dynamic island. It's a new version of the notch, which I am not a fan of, but the dynamic island has just reimagined the notch. It is basically a mix between hardware and software, merging the two together to create the dynamic island. It is in the same place where the notch normally is, and basically, if I get a call, say, okay, that notch will expand, and it will tell you have a call, and you can answer the call with the call banner. If you're listening to music, the notch will show that. It will expand, and it will show that you're listening to music, and it is totally and completely interactive. You can, you can long press it, and you can utilize it. You can do so much with it, and it is such a cool feature. I do encourage you to go check that out on the iPhone 14 Pro. That is probably my favorite feature from it. Another feature, though, is we've got the Pro Max, which has 6.7 inches. Pro is just 6.1 inches, exactly the same as what they've done with the Plus version and the Plus version and the normal version of the iPhone 14. Peak HDR brightness is 1600 nits. 1600 nits, which is just absolutely outstanding. So if you need that really bright screen, 1600 nits, go check out the iPhone 14 Pro. Peak outdoor brightness is 2000 nits, which is absolutely amazing. It's got always on display, which is the same feature that they've got on the Apple Watch, which I just mentioned. A16 bionic chip, which has 16 billion transistors, 4nm process, and it's the fastest ever chip in a smartphone. 6-core CPU, 5-core GPU. It's got heaps. A 48 megapixel camera, 12 megapixel ultra wide camera. All these features, and there's more that I haven't listed here, but they're just, absolutely awesome. And you can go check all this stuff out if you go to YouTube and watch Apple's Far Out event. I encourage you not to, because it is really long and pretty boring. It goes for an hour and a half. But if you want to watch it, go check it out. I'll put the link in the description. But that's all from the Far Out event. I do want to mention a few things, though. This weekend I will be releasing one more episode talking about the Ryzen 7000 series. So stay tuned for that. But I might also be releasing another episode. But the main thing is, we have a new website, an official website where you can listen, you can check out all the stuff about the podcast. You can sign up to the mailing list so that you never miss an episode. There's so much you can check out on the website, so just go there. The link will be in the description. And I encourage you, go check it out. It is, it's so awesome. So I'll chuck that in the description. Thank you so much for supporting me along this whole journey. But until next time, I'm Leon Panopoulos. You are tuned in to the Random Access Show.